Namaste Shri Ramakrishna. Letters of Swami Vivekananda. Arise, awake, onward. I only tell you this, that whoever reads this letter will imbibe my spirit. Have faith, onward. Swami Vivekananda. Letter number 5. This letter was written to Sh.Pramadadas Mitra on 7th August 1889 from Baranagar, Calcutta. In this letter, the young monk Swami Vivekananda asked Sh.Pramadadas Mitra, who was a great scholar of Sanskrit scriptures, about the story of Satyakama, who was the son of Jabala and Janashruti. Swamiji also requests Sh.Pramadadas Mitra to expound the doctrine of caste. Swamiji wants to know whether this caste system is hereditary or is it based on one's qualification or gunas or aptitude. Swamiji here is questioning Acharya Shankara's view that the Shudra is not qualified to study the Vedas. Swamiji, with his razor-sharp intellect, affirms that the Shudras also, everyone is entitled to study the Upanishads, the Vedas. Swamiji also writes glowingly about the famous book named Imitation of Christ. Here we have letter number 5. Dear Sir, Sh.Pramadadas Mitra, it is more than a week since I received your letter, but having had another attack of fever, I could not send a reply all this time, for which please excuse me. For an interval of a month and a half I kept well, but I have suffered again for the last 10 days. Now I am doing well. I have certain questions to put, and you, sir, have a wide knowledge of Sanskrit, so please favor me with answers to the following. 1. Does any narrative occur about Satyakama, son of Jabala, and about Janashruti anywhere else in the Vedas excepting the Upanishads? Footnote. The real import of this question lies in the fact that Shankaracharya, in his commentary on the Vedanta Sutras 1, 3, 34 to 37, interprets the aphorisms to prove that Upanishadic wisdom was imparted to Janashruti and Satyakama only because they were not Shudras, as borne out by actual texts. But as these texts are doubtful, even after Shankaracharya's explanation, Swamiji wants to be referred to other Vedic texts where mention has been made of these persons. Question number 2. In most cases where Shankaracharya quotes Smriti in his commentary on the Vedanta Sutras, he cites the authority of the Mahabharata. But seeing that we find clear proofs about caste being based on qualification, both in the Bhishma Parva of the Mahabharata and in the stories there of the Ajagara and of Uma and Maheshwara, has he made any mention in his writings of this fact? Question number 3. The doctrine of caste in the Purusha Sukta of the Vedas does not make it hereditary. So what are those instances in the Vedas where caste has been made a matter of hereditary transmission? 4. The Acharya could not adduce any proof from the Vedas to the effect that the Shudra should not study the Vedas. He only quotes Yadnena Vaklaptaha to maintain that when he is not entitled to perform yadnas, he has neither any right to study the Upanishads and the like. Yadnena Vaklaptaha. Footnote. The Shudra is not conceived of as a performer of yadna or Vedic sacrifices. Taittiriya Samhita 7.1.16. But the same Acharya contends with reference to Athato Brahma Jidnasa. Footnote. Vedanta Sutras of Vyasas 111. It means, now then commences hence the inquiry about Brahman. Athato Brahma Jidnasa, that the word atha, now then, here does not mean subsequent to the study of the Vedas, because it is contrary to proof that the study of the Upanishad is not permissible without the previous study of the Vedic mantras and Brahmanas, and because there is no intrinsic sequence between the Vedic Karma Kanda, section about rituals, and Vedic Jnana Kanda, section about knowledge, it is evident, therefore, that one may attain to the knowledge of Brahman without having studied the ceremonial parts of the Vedas. So, if there is no sequence between the sacrificial practices and Jnana, why does the Acharya contradict his own statement when it is a case of the Shudras by inserting the clause by force of the same logic? Why should the Shudra not study the Upanishad? I am mailing you, sir, a book named Imitation of Christ, written by a Christian sannyasin. It is a wonderful book. One is astonished to find that such renunciation, vairagya and dasya bhakti, devotion like that of a faithful servant, have existed even among the Christians. Probably you may have read this book before. If not, it will give me the greatest pleasure if you will kindly read it. Yours, etc., Vivekananda. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.